there was some exciting news out this week for me in particular, because I quite like my VR, about Apple's plans or hints of its plans. And it's, the title from Bloomberg is Apple plans a 3D world and video service for its mixed reality headset, which sounds so exciting, because it says Apple and not Meta at the beginning there. I think there's a lot of kind of interesting tidbits in this article. I focused on a couple of points and I can't remember the rest of them. So I'm hoping that John and Mike are going to be able to remind me in today's episode of the Not So Critical Update.
Tell us what you remembered, and then we'll say what you missed.
So one of the key things from this was that they've registered...
Because we totally read it, too.
Yeah, okay, good. They've registered trademarks for Reality OS, and there's going to be like the Reality device and stuff like this, which makes me... I think it's kind of funny that we're all going to be living in Apple Reality, which is kind of like totally not ominous and perfectly normal, delivered in corporate reality. So yes, sign me up.
Everything is going to be matte and soft.
Yeah.
All pastels. And
I kind of want to live in Apple Reality. Everything goes.
If I was
really satisfying,
to be completely honest, if there is a company that I have the most faith in to do this right, it is Apple.
Yes.
They're past 20 years.
Dude, they roll your eyes, like fuck off.
The last 10 years, 12 years, maybe even 14 years of Apple hardware has been nothing but success.
Yeah.
After success. Like
they put the work in. That's why.
The thing that stood out to me... Oh, sorry, you weren't done, John.
No. Go.
The thing that stood out to me about the article, which I did read, is just it's classic Apple. They're not the first one on the market. They're going to show up late. They're going to have a great product, and it's going to cost 5 to 10 times as much as anything else already on the market. And people are going to love it and pay for it. Even the people who are complaining about what everything it costs now would be like, "Oh, Apple's made it. Here, take 10 times as much. No problem. I'm in."
Here's the weird thing, right? So we know that this is all marketing hype, and this is just the Apple hype train getting going, right? But we cognizant of we're willing victims of the marketing speak. Like
because marketing
that's how
works,
good
Peter.
they are. Well, yeah, but there's some people who are bad at marketing and some people who are good. Like when
Totally true.
Facebook or Meta come out and go, "Oh, metaverse is the next big thing," and we all just kind of go, "Oh yeah, right, okay, it looks like Second Life on
back to bed, Mark,
with a hangover." But then Apple go, "Oh, we're gonna have a mixed reality. It's gonna be a new world, all this bullshit," and we're like, "Oh my god, that sounds amazing!" Because
with no screenshots or markups, everyone's just like, "Oh, that's gonna be great. I can't wait to see it."
They're saying the same stuff.
It is good marketing.
But that's how good they are.
Exactly.
I'm convinced by the fact that their marketing is so high quality that their products are going to be as well. And also, the decades of decade
research,
of
years of research.
The proof of the history of putting out really good products.
They are.
I mean, Apple. Go ahead.
They are potentially facing some pitfalls there, though. So they didn't invent the MP3 player. They didn't invent the computer. They didn't invent the mouse. They didn't invent the self-driving car. They didn't invent VR. They're late to the party on all these things. What's driven them, as you were saying, is that they do put out great products, but they no longer have Steve Jobs. They no longer have Ivy. And most of Ivy's team is left. They don't know who's going to replace them. They're kind of struggling on that front.
Yeah.
They don't really have anybody to drive future innovation the way that they've had in the past.
Innovation, though, but you just proved yourself wrong because they don't have innovation. They have really, really good copies.
Well, yes, but the people who drive those good copies are not there anymore.
Fair.
So, I can think of one thing that the Apple Silicon has really worked out. Like the M1 and the M2 chips are basically magic.
That's true.
But did they start that whole thing when Jobs and Johnny or whatever the other guys were around?
The M1,
Is
M2
that just
thing?
a result
You
of
mean
them?
the ARM?
Yeah.
You mean the
Yeah,
ARM
I don't
chips?
Yeah.
I think that they probably started development on those because of ARM. They saw they could see the future and see how.
Was
What's
that
your
roadmap
question?
created before Ivy left?
Yeah.
It probably was,
Yeah.
because that was just like 3 years ago, I think.
Well, no,
So-
I'll tell you why. Because remember, pre i7s, Apple was running, I think, their own chips. I don't remember what they were called.
It takes years to develop actual silicon that's viable to be used in. And this is, and we're on the M2
Sometimes
chip
impossible.
now. So yeah, sometimes it doesn't work out. I remember a few occasions in the past, but so I'm wondering whether like have they? That was a big risk to do to decide to make your own chip, and we're going to make it better than all these other people who have been doing it for like forever, Intel and AMD. We're just gonna, I don't know, we're just gonna do it better.
We're gonna use a different architecture and make it better. That was also big. Why did everyone, including me, doubt the M1, their M series chips? Is because these chips don't have a good history. It was never meant to be a desktop or laptop replacement.
Right. So with that kind of risk, that kind of like confidence and insight into the future, I think is maybe what's like really doing something different and actually succeeding at it is the kind of magical thing about Apple. And if that started before they lost all these key people, then maybe they don't have the people now to make any other similar kinds of risks. I mean,
it's definitely a concern. Like that, but definitely a concern.
Yeah.
Because even the team that Ivy had built, the people that they thought were going to take over, they've started drifting away. So it's kind of not clear inside Apple who's going to be the one to step up and lead that moving forward.
I have my biggest concern is that Apple is going to create a perfect world for a dozen people, if you will. What I mean is there'll definitely not be cross-compatibility with whatever Google or Facebook push out. And we can see that with iMessage and Android.
Yep.
They still are not working together to solve the problem. And I'm not going to go get an iPhone so I can be in an iMessage group.
Well, I think there's another. I know I'm being a total Apple fanboy today, so thank you for not vomiting yet, Mike, and just holding it until after we stop recording. But I genuinely am considering buying an iPhone so that I can willingly become part of this closed ecosystem.
Oh boy! So
that I get an amazing camera that just I've seen how incredible the pictures it takes are, and B. I can interact with so many of my friends, like I broke down eventually and got a WhatsApp account.
Are they people you want to interact with, really, Peter?
Well, I'd be one of them at that point.
Be honest,
if I got myself an iPhone.
Yeah,
Peter,
that's a good point. I'm staying on it.
The camera, not a fact anymore. Maybe 3 years ago, but the Pixel is so good. The Pixel 7, I just got it. The camera is absurd. It is iPhone level.
How do you think Google's going to do at the VR game then?
I think that VR is going to be a thing for them, just like Android is. They have great success.
Like they do everything else?
No, because they haven't. Look at their Pixel line. Largely, besides the Pixel 6, it has been a success. The reason the Pixel 6 wasn't as big of a success was because it was having reception issues. The antenna.
Unnamed Ewok thinks that you're going to be screwed in. Like and subscribe, join Discord, and tell me what I should call my new baby Ewok, who I love so very much. Anyway,
Peter's turning into a furry before our eyes.
The problem,
literally real time.
The problem that you're going to have, John, is that in a couple of years your device is going to your device is going to stop working, and you'll be fucked. Google will go, "Oh no."
That's not true. They commit to 3 years of updates, 5 years of security updates. But this is like a track record. This is just
saying they have a
plus
track
Peter,
record
as opposed to what? having the company software lock your battery or degrade it on purpose
or
so that you have to
slow it down intentionally.
John hates it when we do whataboutism. Okay, Mike, you know that. So,
I cannot believe that you're actually rooting for Apple.
I just take the piss. I about Google because they Chromebooks are pretty cool as well. Actually, I'll say that.
Fuck Chromebooks.
Yeah,
They're so irrelevant.
Peter, I'm supposed to be the troll on this
Chrome
show.
OS. But to be fair, I did actually get the
fair.
Pixel Watch, and I'm really I'm really liking it.
All right.
The biggest reason I'm liking it, I'll tell you. So I have trouble waking up. From my phone.
You're a morning guy.
Definitely not. Not a night person or a morning person. I'm a sleep person.
Because he's a millennial.
So I have real issues getting up in the morning. So much so, I'm like the meme where there's like 30 alarms, like in 5-minute intervals with different types of alarms.
Okay.
It doesn't get me up.
Do we have to put an ad hashtag on the video?
Wait.
By the way,
but I started using the alarm on my wristwatch, so it vibrates and rings. This thing gets me up.
Wow! Really?
Instantly, I'm awake.
Sounds so much like a QVC ad. You know,
and that's
I wake up feeling
today,
rested and refreshed.
Yeah. You know, I was never really a shirt kind of guy because they were kind of came down a little bit too far. But then I discovered untuck it, and I was like, "Wow! Oh my god, these are
just untuck it."
Is that a thing? What's that from?
I have no idea.
It's shirts that are slightly shorter, and then they're designed not to be tucked in.
Oh, I hate short shirts. I think short shirts look so dumb. Anyway. Moving back to the VR thing.
Like when your belly hangs out the bottom a little bit. You're like,
oh my God. Compatibility will be a problem. They will not work together to solve it. And we're all going to live in our segregated little VR worlds. It's going to suck.
It's such a shame because Oculus had so much promise. They genuinely designed a revolutionary product. And then Meta came along and just destroyed the soul of that.
Palmer Luckey's biggest mistake was selling to Facebook.
Well, not for him. He made a shit ton of money. Like,
yeah, but someone who calls themselves the pioneer of VR goes and fucking sells out.
Everyone's got a price, man. I don't blame him. I can't blame anybody who sells out for tens of millions or
thankfully, there's enough competition that I think we will probably see in our lifetime a universal cross-platform compatibility at some point.
You mean like we have with messaging platforms and yeah, I don't know,
like WhatsApp, or Signal, or Steam is a perfect example where you could play on your Steam Deck and I can play on my computer. It just has to happen.
I think it's going to be something like, I don't know. I know we've gone long here, Mike, but it's going to be something like the Nreal Airs, the glasses that you can put on. I tested out my brother's recently. They're phenomenal. The quality is so good. They're still, like first generation kind of quality, but for a first generation, they are astounding. And the productivity promises from it is just you can almost touch it, like it's almost there. And that is going to be, it's easy to put on. It's like low barrier, relatively affordable, $400 or something. When the software gets up to speed and they fix a couple of the glitches, it's going to be, they actually launched recently app developer store thing, which I think is going to be really good. Like they've invited people to take part of a beta program of the store, and they're giving access to all the developers and SDKs and, everything that you need to build an ecosystem that's healthy and vibrant. And I think because after I tested these, I came across YouTube is now suggesting to me all sorts of other variables, different brands, different companies that are doing the same thing. And I think it's really simple as well. It's like it's a display that has a USB-C connector that you can plug into any other USB-C thing that will work as a display or as a augmented reality thing. So you got the components there to build something. It's not a closed thing. Sorry, rant over.
Yeah,
we'll just have to wait and see.
look very impressive. I saw a demo somebody did using the Nreals with a Steam Deck to have big screen gaming, basically. Lots of demos of people using it for the widescreen monitors. I have it on my wish list for sure.